Talent, doing some things that I know you haven't heard before. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing.
Hello again. Welcome to the Moda podcast. And although we don't have Modas today because the temperature in our own Bangalore has soared as high as 36 degrees as we speak with a very good air quality of 101. Anyway.
Is that something to be proud of?
No, let's just call it satire.
Okay. No, yeah. As this season tends to change, normally we would have rain by now, and we don't have rain. And you had a small little thing to say about that. You said it's because Bangalore doesn't have any more lakes. They are doing something with the lakes now.
Yep.
What is that?
So it's essentially the desilting process, which basically cleans up the lakes and it's just a cleanup process for the lakes.
And you think
they would drain up the entire lake bed and then fill up water again.
That's basically to get ready for the rains.
Yes, I guess so.
I think so, yeah.
Not the best person to talk about it, but that's my understanding.
Probably, that's our understanding as well. But I don't know. But you think that because of that, there is more heat in Bangalore?
I would like to think so because I think lakes are have always been important to the city. So if there is a sudden spike in temperature, I'd like to think that the lack of water bodies might definitely contribute to it.
Okay.
But anyway, a lot has happened since our last episode. The month of March in April has been pretty eventful and very busy, and also a lot of interesting things happen around at the restaurant as well.
Yeah.
But
Simple
why don't
thing.
we start with what happened at the first beginning of March?
Beginning of March, I think. Was it beginning of March?
I think it was the end of March. Yeah.
I think it was the end of March. It was the end of March where, a small trip to Hong Kong, just to get the recognition which we got. Yeah. Once again, second year. Congratulations to every single member of.
Congratulations to all the restaurants that have made it. It's really a good time to be
in India.
In India, cooking Indian food. Cooking with Indian produce and showcasing things out there. So congratulations to all the restaurants that have made it to the 50 list and the extended list as well. Yep.
Yeah, it was nice. It was great to be amongst the Asia's best. Yeah, it was, as I said, I'm just a vessel, like the actual thing, what happens is what's happening over here. Yeah, what's happening over here. A couple of things where we change our menus almost every single month.
Yeah.
And I think the month of March had this thought process, which we want to call it, like we change our menus almost every month, but we also played around with what's happening at that point of time.
Yeah.
Of the year.
So apart from focusing on the idea of seasonality with food, we also tend to focus on a lot of the occasions and celebrations that our communities go throughout the year.
That's the lore. That's the story.
That's where we wanted to bring in stories and make it a little bit more than the food itself and intertwine it with occasions.
More than the entity of calling ourselves just farm to table. We just want to say it's farm lore. It's the stories of the farm, stories of the produce, stories of the people around it, stories of the culture around we are.
Yeah.
So more so of the stories. Some of the stories actually blend in with seasonality. Some of the stories blend in with festivals. Some of the story blend in with what's happening at that particular point of time of the year. So but again, 3 major festivals.
Yes, representing 3 prominent
religions.
I guess.
That was the starting point for us. Yeah, as we were coming into the month of March. I think Holi was the one.
Holi was the first one. We had done a lot of versions of in Holi, the past. But this one, I remember how the brainstorming started, and we were just thinking about colors, and the spectrum of ideation just went from end to end.
Yeah.
And I remember during service, it was a Thursday, I think, and you were sitting down the stairs, and you just called me from the past and to say, "Hey, I have this idea. Let's you know, uh, you want to elaborate on
the way how
things
it
that you
works.
expressed at the time?"
Yeah, the way how it works is, I think I was hearing few Ilayaraja songs or something like that.
Right.
Like, yeah, as this. First, again, it comes back to what my team could execute, what our team could execute, and how well we could tell that story, how well we could bring that narrative. So we basically look at strengths of our team, and the captain is only as good as his team. So
100%.
so that's where we start. So the idea was like, and also what we have in our kitchen,
Right.
we have a particular mold, then we say like,
And then we had the produce.
we have the produce. We
which
have
just
the
came out of
produce.
the winter with radishes.
Yeah, we came out of the winter with radish. We had the mold. That was the second thing, and then we had only the what do you call, the cloud mold. I think initially we were looking at doing it in a banana mold, but it didn't. It didn't encapsulate into that particular story.
So the idea was to first look at different molds, and I kind of had my interpretation at first of what you were saying, like, does it look like the Pink Floyd album where there's a prism and then you have colors coming through the other side?
Yeah.
And then you then said that it's just not the idea that you had in mind, but please go ahead. Go on.
No, again, I wanted to be very much rooted.
Yeah.
That was the one idea. So we said like, okay, let's look for something what we're going to put inside this particular mold, which is very much rooted to Indian culture. And that's when we thought like, we did a little bit of a research. We called few people, few chefs, North Indian chefs, few people from North India as well, where we asked, what do you exactly eat during
the season of Holi?
During Holi, what do you exactly eat? And we got various answers from everywhere. And I think while we were doing that small little research, somebody was saying like, it's a lot of fried food during that particular scenario.
Right. And
to balance it out, people do have some kanji, which is more like a fermented drink of sorts, just to get the balance up, just to get it going. But those are all thought processes which comes in when you want to create a particular course.
Yeah.
But again, for me, the picture where I got really, say this is the mold which I want to do was this, as I told before, it was this Ilayaraja song which was Andi Mare Megam or something like that.
Andi Mare.
Yeah, so it's like they look at the there's one particular shot, I think it's a Maniratnam shot, I don't know whether it was PC Sriram or who told this shot. He looks at the clouds on the top, and there'll be a spectrum of colors thrown.
Right.
And I thought like, okay, we have a cloud, we have this, and let's encapsulate those colors into a cloud and do this in a form of a cloud.
Right.
And that's when I said like, that's when the idea got, fully convinced in my mind that I'm going to go ahead with the cloud. Yeah. But I think we also tried with a banana.
We tried with the banana
we
first,
tried with
and
the
then
banana.
it just looked like a very
a colorful banana
very
for some
colorful
reason.
Colorful
banana for some reason. I don't know what made us do it. I think it was only the mold which we had, so we wanted to do that.
Let's call it a psychedelic banana.
Yeah, psychedelic banana. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe that was the most weirdest of move which we have done over here in terms of a colorful banana. It doesn't make any. It did not make any sense.
Well, at least we convinced ourselves for the first few days until this idea came along and transformed into the cloud, the entire muli kanji in the form of
kanji. It kind of worked. It kind of worked for the very first time. And I think the way how we got our colors done in terms of green for chlorophyll, the beetroot was natural tinge red.
And then came the idea of using edible paint textured sauces, the gloss and the acrylic paint textures that you would want to achieve. It was
massively a good course.
And people really
liked it.
Devoured that plate because they would just finish. Nice. And I think I remember one of these services where a guest drew a heart in the middle of the plate.
Yeah.
just because they really
They
liked
really
it and
liked
just
it.
sent
No,
it over.
that's nice. But again, that was not our first course. I think that was a second course.
That was the second course, yes.
But the first course was something beyond, something which
I don't remember.
I think it's break the fast.
Yes, break the
It's
fast.
the break the fast
Yeah.
course. Break the fast course. Again, it was the season of Ramadan, so we wanted to do. We wanted to break the fast. The first course itself, we wanted to do a celebration kind of a course where how people break the fast. They break the fast with samosas, with salads.
So essentially,
or
with a salad of
halim.
dates and
Yeah.
just a piece of date actually, and the thought process for a salad came to be as that, and we had a lot of greens just coming off the winter.
Yeah. I think it was still fresh with the nasturtiums,
Yeah, the
and
nasturtiums,
the nasturtium
really, yeah.
flowers, and all
Beautiful,
those
beautiful
things.
flavor.
Yeah, so it kind of worked. It kind of worked really well. But the matter of fact, that particular dish was a sure shot hit. Was, I think initially when we started, you had brought this small little idea of saying that, chef, let's do something on a bone. Let's
On an
play
actual
something,
real
yeah,
bone,
on an actual real bone. And I said, let's get a reason, or let's get the reason for us to actually do that particular course.
Right.
And I think the time came in when it was for this break the
Late
fast.
February, when we were just
when we're just
trying to work this out.
brainstorming on few things.
Yeah.
And that's when I think we said, yes, let's do this for our break the fast kind of
Right.
a course, where we'll taper a piece of meat over it, and then cook it, crisp it up, and
Yeah.
serve it on the bone itself,
Yeah.
which mimics a piece of samosa, a flaky samosa,
Right.
in a break the fast kind of a course.
Yeah.
But it's not going to take you exactly there. The real feel of it is taking the small piece of bone and then
just having that
Yeah,
primal
I think it's the
feeling
primal
of just
instinct, yeah.
chewing of the bone.
chewing of the bone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that was one. But I should also, tap on to a few other things as well. As I said before, as chefs, we all have to work with a team, and you're only as good as your team member. Yeah. So I think if you're able to tap the emotions of every single team member, you'll be able to even replicate n number of dishes at double quick time.
to essentially tap into the essence of and the soul of the dish.
Yeah.
For example, the halim.
Yeah, the halim. Yeah. So halim, again, I don't think I would have done or had the audacity or the confidence to cook halim and say this is the best halim until we had this person in our kitchen, Harsh. Yeah. And I think if he was not there, I don't think I would have got the confidence to actually do it. It was basically when this person was cooking the biryanis and other things with us, I thought, why not? This guy could do a pretty good halim. Yeah. And then when he did it, I think when I actually tasted it, it's one of the best spoon of food I've ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
It felt like that. I'm not exaggerating. It felt like that at a particular moment. Yeah.
I can definitely speak for you as well when you say you're not exaggerating, because
not
I was one of the
exaggerating.
victims to eat a spoon for every single plate that was served.
Yeah.
No, it was just really good. People ended up really loving it. There were instances where we ended up packing up a little bit for our guests just because they thought their son might enjoy it. And we just ended up giving them a pleasant surprise with,
I think when we do our menus every month, these are the stories which get lost.
Yes.
Yeah, like when someone comes over here, loves it so much, and that was the first course of the meal.
Yeah.
And she remembers so much so that she is asking on the 10th course of the meal that can
That's
I
the
have
kind of
that?
impact
Yeah,
you
that's the
should
kind
strive
of
for.
impact. But again, talking about the halim, we also had this raw jackfruit halim.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people loved it.
It was not as good, but at least
It is good.
a
It
very
is
good
good.
counterpart
It is
to
good. It is good.
the closer experience of having halim without the mutton.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but yet it was good. It was good. It was great, in fact. Yeah. So that was the first course. We already talked about Holi as the second course in the beginning of this particular episode, and now I think the third course, which is again, it was there only because we needed to.
Yes, and also the timing was just right because I think March is one of those months where you have, everything coming in.
Yeah, you just had Holi, and then you had the Ramadan season, and then you had the season of Lent.
Season of Lent leading into Easter. Yeah. So initially, I had just had it in my head, miracles of Jesus Christ, just in my head, turning water into wine, but at that point it was just an idea in my head. I wasn't sure how realistically it could be before I went to him. Around the same time, he just actually shared the same idea he had in his head. You just come and told me, hey, I think we should do the miracles of Jesus Christ. Yeah, damn it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, but I think it started way back. I think the day when we actually got that plate done, the dessert plate done, and the goblet done.
Yep.
That was the initial thought process that I needed to put 5 pieces of. I think this was not even this year. This went way back.
From October? Yeah.
No, this went way back. Not even this year. This was much before you went on the trip or something. Somewhere there.
Okay.
It was not in one of these books also. We have done this same little miracles thing much years ago, but it was not the water into wine. It was not the water into wine. It was just the 5 pieces of fish and 5 pieces of bread and 2 pieces of fish.
Yeah.
5 pieces of fish and 2 pieces of bread, which is what we wanted to do.
5 pieces of bread and 2 pieces of fish.
5 pieces of 5 pieces of bread and 2 pieces of fish. Yeah.
Tongue twister.
Yeah. 5 pieces of bread and 2 pieces of fish. No, but that's exactly what we wanted to do. I still have that particular book. It was that big book which we draw years ago. Not
the brown
now.
sheet.
Not the brown sheet. Not the brown sheet.
The white one.
The white one.
Yeah.
The big white one. I think it's still there.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it started. It started way back when I just drew it and said. Never had the idea of doing water into wine. Never had the idea. But then when we were trying to do these what do you call that? The rotary evaporator things. And then we decided, why can't we turn wine into water?
So for those of you who don't know what a rotary evaporator is, it's we would like to consider it the Ferrari of machines in our kitchen. So it's a very systemized form of distillation where you expose a piece of flavorful liquid through vacuum and rapid cooling, condensation, and you just get the essence and the vapors that get just trapped through it's a big process that I'm trying to put into a nutshell in the next 10 seconds, but then it's basically a form of still that we use to trap in aromas or the very volatile compounds of flavors that quite often get lost during the conventional process of cooking. So that's what a rotary evaporator does. So initially we did start in the middle of last year working extensively with the machine to create. I think the first aroma that we did was kalpasi, if I'm not wrong. It was the closest we could come to the taste and smell of petrichor. And then we went on to doing a lot of aromas like jasmine, which we did a Mohini course for Halloween for the collaboration.
I think that was the best way which we put that particular machine to use. When we dispense the aroma of Mohini, she walking around and stuff like that. I think that was the best. But this one had a series of trial and error. We first tried it with grapes, I believe.
Yeah, grapes and initially grapes and just a bottle of syrup.
Yeah.
And after that, we did realize that you're basically distilling something that is already, fermented, it's like intense, and you're basically extracting the alcohol
basically
out of something that already has alcohol and amplifying the.
Basically ended up doing grappa.
Yeah, basically we ended up doing grappa, and the first time we drank it was like just got me high on one sip almost.
Yeah. But then it was a good learning. It was a good learning. We just said like, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
Now, how do we tweak the taste?
Yeah,
How do we add citric acid into it?
Exactly.
How do we get tannins into
Yeah.
it? That was the idea behind it. Yeah.
So we basically did like a batch of hulicha, which is our version of the kombucha with grapes. Steepen some of the grapes to get the tannic profiles of a typical experience of drinking wine. Add in a bit of malic acid to the end product. To just have an almost holistic experience of drinking a glass of wine while making it look like water that is transparent, clear.
Yeah, and then the other miracle of Jesus walking over water came into the mind.
Yeah.
And that's when we thought like, okay, let's there's not much tannins into this drink which we are getting. Let's get some dehydrated grapes or dehydrated jamun just to get that tannicness into it. Let's just encase it in a balato.
So we used those freeze-dried jamun inside the bag that he just said, and the bag is made with potato starch.
And then we thought like, okay, when you just drop it on this particular water, it feels like Jesus walking over water,
which is as superficial as plastic.
That's the idea. That's the
water,
idea. That's the idea. Yeah, chef's mind works a little bit crazy. Yeah, so
I think that was that was honestly just one of the very, very fun courses that we did end up putting on the menu, like through a lot of thought.
You remember the first day we gave 5 pieces of bread to every single guest.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And
we remember. I remember we gave 5 pieces of bread on the third course for every single guest. 5 small pieces of bread. Yet it was a bread. You know? And then we said like, no, let's
split it.
Let's split it because Jesus gave 5 pieces of bread to the multitude and he split. So let's give 5 pieces of bread. Not to a table of 6, but at least to a table of 2. Yeah. And if they want more, we can give more.
100%. Which they mostly won't, but there was this one guy who did.
Yeah, who did. Who liked the bread and he wanted more again.
Yeah.
But that's how our courses find our way into the menu. But again, stories come first.
Yeah. In these instances.
When you have a very powerful story which you want to say, and you know that people are going to get that particular story, you are convinced that it's a time to go and do what you want to do and put it out there. And again, the timing should be right. The Holy Course was able to do during the holy season because it connects. The Ramadan course we needed to do during the Ramadan season because you connect.
A time and place.
A time and place for every single courses. So that's exactly what we do here. The reason why we are able to change our menus is it's not because we take our books one day and say, let's sit down now and let's create dishes.
I don't think it ever worked for us that way.
It doesn't work like that. It actually doesn't work like that. The way how it works is we brainwrite our dishes, we keep it, and even in this last month, we have worked on so many dishes. Remember Anurag working on that. What is the name of that dish? Irvalli. We did that particular dish. But where is that particular dish? We have not gotten to the
There are literally hundreds of dishes that just went under the
radar or the table or whatever you want.
Went under the rug, and we just like, okay, let's bring it to the next month and the next month and the next month, and it just keeps going on and on. But when you look at the end of at least 6 months, we would have at least put away a lot of dishes worth at least 4-5 menus.
4-5 menus.
At least a duplicate of the actual menu that we did. So it is frustrating. Sometimes we do talk about it. We think about what could have been the dishes that could have made it. But then again,
it is better to have few dishes which doesn't make the cut. It is better. It is better because we ask those questions deep inside for ourselves. Is this particular dish going to work for the guest, for that particular person? So when you have that time and zone, which is marked above,
Yeah.
and it all comes into place. When it's not there, might as well let it go.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, or either just write it down. Hopefully
it
you
might
just
come back.
It might come back because there. It
might come back.
I think I had a couple of ideas for Christmas right after we finished the Christmas menu and went into the new menu. I was like, oh shit, we could have put this on the.
No, but
it could have been done
I also
better.
always think whenever we create a menu, after we execute a particular dish or something like that, after we execute that particular theme,
Yeah.
After the first week when the team is much more set and when they are doing it, you have that small little calmness in yourself and you're at ease, and then the ideas start flowing in.
That's right.
At that time, I would again suggest you to take a book, brain write it, and keep it, because you have at least another year for you to reach Christmas. This particular idea has the time to evolve.
Yeah.
And you're not the same person. You're not the same person what you are today for tomorrow.
100%.
So that idea would evolve, would grow. It is not going for waste. And at some point of time, not some point of time, at the right time, it's going to end up on the plate. And when it ends up on the plate, just like this miracle course, when it ends up on the plate at that particular time, the thought process is above, your skill sets are above, the team is much more in tune, and you get, it's just happiness and harmony.
You'll probably end up with a superior idea.
A superior idea, a superior product,
Yeah.
and something which is foolproof, something which people will bring, an emotional connect to people who work for us and for the people who are going to dine. So I think the make or break of a dish is how long we can keep it in the process of it getting created.
That's right.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm also a believer that you need to execute then and there when those ideas come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you have storytelling as the mainstream, we are not just storytellers for the sake of it. As the mainstream, when you have storytelling, when you have lore in the name, you want to do it a little bit more. You want to give more justice to what you do.
That's right. Yeah, so these were some of the dishes that really stood out for us over the last couple of months of working. Hopefully, over the next few months, we will have more episodes coming in, and we get the time to shoot as frequently as we can. It's looking like a very busy year for us at the restaurant. A lot of amazing collaborations in the pipeline, which we might.
But
end
then
up doing.
again, those were just the 3 of those dishes which we did in the month of March.
Yeah.
Was it March?
Just the month of March, actually.
Was it March?
Just
Yeah.
March, and
Was it March? I think month of April had many stories.
oh yeah, actually, after that we had the story of the Avrabeli coming into the picture at the latter end of March.
Yeah, April. I think we had Sitafa. We had because of the World Aquatic Conservation Day, Aquatic Animal Conservation Day, and things like that. So we had a lot more stories in the month of April.
Yeah.
But I think we have never started something like this where we had 3 stories which are interrelated,
And also
intertwined.
came in a sequence. So we
Yeah.
started with breaking the fast with Ramadan.
Yeah.
And then we went on to celebrating
Celebrate
Holi.
the colours,
And then
yeah.
we finished the Trinity with the
Lent.
idea of miracles,
miracles, the Lent,
Lent and Easter. So it was pretty interesting,
No, yeah.
like there was-
And again, we also had a course for Easter, I remember. We did not talk about that. We had a course for Easter.
Yes, that was a very, very limited edition course because it was there only for one weekend, just a Saturday and a Sunday.
Because we ran the whole miracle course until the Easter, and then we had another Easter course into it, and then we said it was going to be only for the Easter day.
Yeah,
it was going to be only for the Easter Sunday, and then we decided we don't want to do that anymore.
Because it didn't make any sense to prolong the dish.
It didn't make any sense. But that's how our thought process works. It's good to have conversations around what to cook for the months to come,
Yeah.
what to cook for the years to come. But again, as I tell you, each dish, if you have a core little idea, you could bring it onto the table, and then we could work mentally first, and then work with the team with the way how we want to influence their strengths of a particular technique which you want to take it. The same, for example, for the miracle course. I don't think, had we not had a rotary evaporator, we would have never
thought
achieved
of the possibility
this,
of
the possibility of this particular miracle and bring it all together. I always thought I'm just going to serve in that particular goblet of wine.
Just
Just a wine.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I initially had this idea. But then when it improvised itself over a period of time because of what we got in terms of the rotary evaporator, and then it just got bigger and better. So time, I think, is the best thing what you can get as an ally in terms of getting your dish better and better. Not doing it every day.
Well, hopefully we'll have more miracles next year to unearth,
More
and more
miracles.
possibilities to,
No, man, I can't. I don't think we can.
I'm sure there are more than 3 miracles that he could have. Maybe-
raising the dead man from life to life. Raising the dead man to life, or curing leprosy. So no.
Okay, go
Yeah. So
on.
those are bigger miracles. These were the smaller miracles, at least where we could do a little bit of a play on it. But those are bigger miracles. Like you can't heal leprosy. You can't wake up a dead man. So leave it there. Let's leave it there. Maybe we could revisit this in a little bit of.
a more refined,
A more refined way next year.
more
If we want to do. Until then, if we don't get, but then you have 1 year, you might get better stories. You will get better stories to tell. There's enough stories for us to get influenced on or get inspired. Yeah. So that brings the end
of this episode.
Okay.
Yes, we'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Let's have a nice service.
Let's have a nice service.